The intuitive message I got for the energy reading for this lunar cycle starting today was crystal clear. And the message is everything is melting. So if you've been feeling stuck, frozen, like nothing is changing in your life, nothing is happening, I want to tell you, you're not alone and you're not imagining it. And also, things are about to change. So that will be true both on the collective and individual level. And I'll tell you all about it. And be sure to stay to the end where I offer some practices to help you when you're feeling unmotivated, stuck, or just lacking in energy. So welcome back to Yin-Tuition. I am Ann Whitmer. I am a Yin yoga teacher, a spiritual guide, and an intuitive. And for the past 20 years, I've been helping people to live with more trust and ease, particularly in times of great change and great intensity, through the power of aligning with more of those feminine yin qualities, and specifically teaching people how to develop and trust their own intuition. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe, because I offer all kinds of tools and practices to help you relax the body, soothe the nervous system, come into that heart space and really connect with the support and guidance of spirit and your higher self. So let's get back to right now and these next 28 days. And, whenever I sit down to do a reading, very simple, I relax the body, I quiet my mind until I come into that warm, gooey state of presence. And I'm very clear in my intentions. I write down a specific question and then I wait and I notice what comes. And this message came in through clairaudience, which is your inner hearing. I heard that very quickly. Everything's melting. And then right away, I saw this image of a group of people and they were all dressed up in winter gear, hats and gloves, and they're in a line and they're treading through deep snow. And they're walking to a barn. And what's interesting, they were in no way panicked or rushed. They're just walking, and they knew they had to be there in this specific place to wait. And there was a sense that they had a purpose, they had a mission, but they had to wait for right timing. They had to wait for the snow and the ice to melt, essentially. And then what it did, the next image I got was this stream, this crystal clear water, beautiful, that was just rushing. So I think this is significant for a number of reasons. I make sense in terms of what we've been going through socially and politically, and literally because spring is like 2 days away, and when spring comes and we get more sun and more warmth, the temperature rises, ice and snow does melt. We go from solid to liquid, from inertia to movements, and from a period of waiting to the opportunity to act with right timing. And I know sometimes when things are frozen, when you feel like things are frozen in your life, it can feel like it's never going to change. But it does. The ice does melt. That is the natural cycle that we see literally at this time of year. So once I get these messages, then I have to sit for a while and just kind of wait until it's clear what the images, the sounds are trying to convey. And collectively, I felt that we are going through a larger shift that really has 3 phases. And the first phase is this sense of being stuck or inertia, being numb, and then a period of waiting for things to, like I said, die out on their own, or a sense of readiness and right timing. And then the movement starts. And once the movement starts, there's clarity, that crystal clear water. Clarity, There's a sense of purpose, and the movement just starts going very fast. So it builds and goes fast. This water was rushing. So let's take a look at all three of those phases. So the first phase, this sense of inertia, or being stuck. I think we all know with what's been happening in the world and how so much has been coming at us, really overwhelming things. A lot of us have felt just this sense of, overwhelm and literally being numb. It's so extreme and it's so much, like we don't know what to do. It's a feeling of being paralyzed. I think it also refers to, old dying systems, old ways, the old patriarchal ways of control and dominance that are hard and rigid and cold. This is dissolving. And I think it's interesting that the biggest image that came through, if you live in America, this is particularly relevant, but was ice. So just think about that. So this idea of being frozen, I think also relates to that deep polarization where people have been so stuck and so fixed in their ways of viewing the world and their beliefs and their opinions and even just how they see things. I think that is going to start to melt. So the second phase is the waiting, and this may be where we're at right now. And the image was of the people in the barn. They were not anxious, but they knew that what they had to do was be patient and that they would know when the time was right to act. I think this is significant because we often forget that some things just will play out on their own, particularly it's something that's not healthy. It can naturally just destroy itself or just literally fizzle out. And I think that might be true on some level in terms of what's happening in the world. There's also the idea that, there is a natural process to things. After winter, spring comes. Thaw does happen, and it happens naturally without having to force it. Most people don't shine an extra headlamp down on a plant to get it to thaw. We just wait and we allow the process to reveal itself. And then when it does, when the ice does melt, this is phase 3. And this is the exciting part because the image was that crystal clear water that was rushing. So I got the sense both of a real clarity of purpose and a purity, a real sense that there's truth behind this. This is the right thing to do. And once that energy starts moving, it just builds. It just flows. So look for moments like that in the coming month or couple of months. Timing's always a little with intuition. It's never exactly precise, but we do have a No Kings rally at the end of the month. So that might be a time when we start to see things turning in a new direction. So that's very hopeful and exciting. Now, on a personal level, I think a lot of us can relate to, not only being numb and sort of overwhelmed, but also maybe feeling stuck in our own lives. I know for me, after that big burst of energy with the Lunar New Year and the fire wars and the eclipses, was so much excitement, and then I kind of just fell down. I literally have been sick almost entirely for the past month, and along with that, my energy just felt heavy, depressed, I was unmotivated, I couldn't get anything done, and I would stress about it. And the more I would stress, the worse I would feel. And that's such a reminder. We teach always what we need to learn, which is there is an aspect to when that energy is challenging and difficult. Sometimes the first way to actually get things to shift is to surrender into it. To go, this is what's here now. There's a reason for it. Connect it back into the body. Where do I feel? What are the sensations? Make space for it. And then we can start to open up and reconnect to really the higher frequency of spirit source. And that comes in as feelings of light and warmth. And when we reconnect in like that, we can start to literally feel what's been heavy start to soften, start to resolve without force or attack, really more through letting go and allowing. And I have a really good, really nurturing meditation for you, a guided meditation to help you do just that if you are feeling stuck or unmotivated or really just kind of low and unconnected. So that is in a separate video. But for now, today, I want to offer you just a few very simple things that you can do when you need a quick boost. Use the meditation for a deeper dive to opening up to more healing. But when you literally are feeling just, you don't want to do anything, the energy's low, I can't motivate, you feel brain foggy, this will help, one, ignite more energy, but also clear up that cloudy thinking. So let's go ahead and try 2 practices. And if you can stand up, I'm going to ask you to do that. Okay, so the first practice comes from Qigong, and we're going to work with tapping the kidneys. So the kidneys right here, mid-back, and we'll tap them with loose fists. So we are just finishing out winter and water season. Water in the body governs the kidneys. And if you think about the kidneys, right on top of them is the adrenal glands. So they have energetically a lot of impact on our sense of vitality and energy. So when you're feeling like you just literally can't do anything else, this is really helpful exercise. It's quick and easy. And if you can do it outside, even better, because then you get all the vitality of the qi in the natural environment. But if you're inside, that's okay. You do want to stand, and you want to bend your knees just slightly so they're not locked out. And it's very simple. You make little fists, and you swing your arms, and as you do, you tap the middle of your back to add more energy, more qi to this practice. The breath is really essential. And I like to use a fairly forceful breath like this. So let's try it. Feet a little wider than hips distance, knees slightly bent, hands in little fists. Take a deep breath in, and then go. And let the arms just naturally start to slow down. And then you can take a deep breath in and exhale. The arms release. Woo! And just feel that burst of energy. So the next one comes from the yogic tradition. And this is a really fun one. This is called Breath of Joy. And again, it's to really give you an energetic lift. It also does, both of these also do help clear the mind because the energy is coming up towards the head. And with a strong breath, it's kind of purifying that energy up here. Now, if you're anxious, you want to do the opposite. You want to take energy from up here down into the belly, deep belly breathing. But for now, we're working on lifting that energy up. So this is like a bit of a cheer. And I'm going to show you the movements first. There's 3 movements, and then we'll do them rapidly 3 times in succession. So the first movement is like this. And again, same stance, feet a little more than hips distance apart, knees slightly bent. On the inhale, You're going to take your hands together, lift them up in the air over your head, and release. That's movement 1. Movement 2, inhale the arms out to the sides, exhale, release. The last movement, same thing. You bring the arms up through the center of the body. Knees are bent, but on the exhale, you wood chopper, you go, ha! Okay, and the forceful noise is actually important. Okay, so let me just show you in succession. It goes inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, ha! And we're going to do that 3 times fast, and pretty fast, so get ready. Shake it out. Okay, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, ha! Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, ha! Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, ha! Let's do it 2 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, ha! Last time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, ha! Woo! And just take your hands to your heart. Woo! Yeah. If that didn't get your motivation juju rolling, I don't know what would. So the last message for the month comes from a song. You know, I always get my messages through song lyrics. And this comes from the song, Reach Out, I'll Be There, which very specifically, you've got to look at the Four Tops. It is the Four Tops version, because there's multiple versions of this song title. But it was so clear, the message, because when you look at the lyrics, a lot of it is, you know, when you feel you can't go on and all your hope is gone and the world around is crumbling down, darling, reach out. And I think that's so significant because we are going through unprecedented times. You know, people say this every single day, and it's challenging. And if you are in that state of inertia or a little depression, you can become very isolated and alone. And that can be not only challenging, but not beneficial. And reaching out to a friend, to community, to your higher self, to spirit, however you see that, to your guides, is such an important thing to do. You aren't alone. There are people who care. There's people who feel exactly like you do. So with that, reach out here. I'll be there for you. In fact, you can join us on the first Sunday of every month for a live Yin Yoga and Intuition class, which is super fun. So that's coming up in a few weeks. I love y'all so much. Please like this. It really helps the algorithm if you make a comment or just thumbs up it, and share it with people who you think could benefit. And I will see you soon. Take care.